We are NAIT Marketing, and we are extremely excited to present to you today our Grow with Alberta Avenue marketing campaign. My name is Morgan Rayna, of Amy Musi, Elise Lambrex, and Rayna Dykeman. Let us begin.
So as all of you know, 118th Avenue is one of the oldest residential neighborhoods in the Edmonton area. Most of its development occurred during the First World War era, and at this time it was a really popular place for people to hang out. There's a lot of community events going on, and Edmontonians from all over the city were gathering there. That really had a positive perception at that time. Unfortunately, this positive perception turned negative when a previous recession occurred. This previous recession forced Alberta Avenue residents and business owners to move off the avenue. They didn't have the income that they once had, and they couldn't make their rent. Because they had to move off the avenue, other Edmontonians purchased these store lots because they were rather inexpensive. Unfortunately, though, they used them for illegal activities, and word got around that that was happening, and that contributed to the negative perception. Legitimate business owners who remained on the avenue, though, couldn't make their rent because they lacked the disposable income to fix up their storefronts when crime or vandalism and any other things happened. So all of these factors then contributed to the negative perception of 118.
We determined that our primary target audience would consist of residents actually living on 118th Avenue, neighborhoods adjacent to 118, and NAIT students. We chose these three because they directly relate to the avenue. Our secondary target audience would consist of surrounding neighborhoods, and our tertiary is businesses operating on 118th Avenue. Through our research, we determined the problem of 118th. We asked many individuals if they would have dinner on 118th Avenue, and one response, which inspired our whole campaign, was this. We asked a middle-aged female woman if she would have dinner, and she responded, "By myself?" Then she took a minute, thought about it, and then stated, "Well, I wouldn't know where to go." This is our problem. 118th has a negative perception, and there's a lack of positive information regarding 118th Avenue, and which all leads to a lack of shopping traffic.
Because of this problem, we decided to come up with three main objectives. These objectives are going to be to define a positive brand image for Alberta Avenue, initiate change of the target audience's negative perception of Alberta Avenue, and increase shopping traffic on Alberta Avenue. I want you all to notice that up until now, we've been referring to the avenue as 118. We've done this intentionally. 118th Avenue is going to be the previous association to the avenue. It had a negative perception, and it wasn't regarded in a positive manner. From this point on, we are going to talk about the avenue as Alberta Avenue and rebranding it as that. That is its historical name, and we want to make sure that everything associated with it reflects a positive light. Because we mentioned positive so many times during our campaign objectives, like create a positive brand image, create positive information retention, and a positive perception, we thought it would only be appropriate to redefine the word positive for the avenue. This will then be to communicate to the avenue to help community realize Alberta Avenue does reflect the area's unique ethnic diversity, arts and culture, and community dynamics. So in order to communicate this, how are we going to do that? We're going to communicate to the target audience that Alberta Avenue's positive image does have a positive image through numerous advertising and promotional techniques. We also want to inform the target audience that there's positive facts regarding Alberta Avenue. Again, we're going to do this through advertising and promotional techniques. So like Rayna said, with that one middle-aged woman who said, "Oh my God, by myself, I don't want to go there." And then supporting that, she said, "But I wouldn't know where to go." That essentially inspired our entire campaign, because through every piece that we're going to be showing you, we want to focus on a positive brand image supported with relevant and factual information regarding the avenue.
So as was previously stated, we're going to rebrand 118th Avenue to be Alberta Avenue. NAIT Marketing has created the Grow with Alberta Avenue logo to be implemented in all aspects of our campaign. There are two main aspects why we chose a tree. The first one is we chose the short, thick trunk because we wanted to signify strength and firm roots, because we feel Alberta Avenue is a very, very strong community. The second major aspect of this tree is the essence branches. We wanted to represent Alberta Avenue is unique. There's nothing like it in the city. So we just wanted to signify the uniqueness of it and reinforce the positive image. And how are we going to to communicate this positive image by two major promotional tactics, through outdoor advertising and our information kit. This information kit is going to contain merchandise advertising, sales promotion, print, and personal selling.
So, as Elise just mentioned, we're going to be using 5 different tactics. With that being said, shown above here, we have the different pulses of what we are going to be doing throughout the year. We are going to commence in the last 2 weeks of March and continue on throughout the whole year. As we said, we are essentially rebranding Alberta Avenue, 118th, as Alberta Avenue. So for that, it is essential and critical to keep pounding that message into our target audience that it is Alberta Avenue. So that is the reason why we are continuously going to be putting things throughout the course of the year. So what is our first course of action? ETS interior bus cards. So what these are they are when you're sitting on the bus, the little advertisements that you're looking up and seeing on the sidewalls. So we are going to be implementing 5 pulses of 4-week advertisements commencing in the last 2 weeks of March. We will be having 10 advertisements per 4-week advertising period, with approximately 2 to 3 advertisements on each cycle. We have chosen 5 different bus routes on the ETS for the simple reason that these are the bus routes that are either running directly on Alberta Avenue and or to coming to NAIT. So they're coming here, they're running on the avenue. These are the people that we really want to be attracting. So as shown here, we have the bus routes 143 Abbotsfield, the 8 Mill Woods, 9 Northgate, the 12 Kingsway, and the 202 St. Albert. With 66 rides taken on ETS annually, that was pretty much a good indicator for us that people are taking the bus, and this was a great method of communication. So, as I stated, we're going to be starting in the month of March. And as I come here to Vanna White for you, we will be starting in the month of March, completely kiboshing the idea that Alberta Avenue is a dangerous place, because that is such a perception, and before that was an accurate perception. So we're just going to get rid of that right off the bat and tell our target audience that it is a safe place to visit. So in this picture, we have showcased Community Watch members, and in this photo, we didn't want to focus on the faces of the people, but rather on their bottom half. This reason was because we don't really care who they are. It could be your grandmother, it could be your uncle, it can be Mr. Habisha who runs the restaurant down the street. It's really irrelevant who it is, rather who is the community is watching out for you. I would also like you to know, as I go through the advertisements, that we say the words Alberta Avenue 3 times in every advertisement. Again, we're doing this to them, right? We want to really get out the image that we are Alberta Avenue, we aren't 118. Alberta Avenue, did you know these are just a few of the hundreds of men and women who help make Alberta Avenue a safer place? Enjoy Alberta Avenue, visit 118th. You'll also notice that we have a slogan going through all of them that is Alberta Avenue, visit 118th. This was for the fact that Alberta Avenue and 118th are obviously the same place. We're not trying to trick anybody but that they aren't. But 118th isn't a brand, it's the location. So we still do have to tell them that you are going to 118th, but look at this great picture and look at these great facts that are associating the two. For our second picture, for our second campaign image in the month of June, we wanted to focus on the ethnic cuisines that are offered on Alberta Avenue. For this picture, again, we're not focusing on the faces, but rather the meal that they're enjoying, and that Ethiopian food, good stuff. So here we go, Alberta Avenue. Did you know Ethiopian is only one of 11 different types of ethnic cuisines offered on Alberta Avenue? Taste Alberta Avenue, visit 118. For our July campaign image, we wanted to focus on the faces of these individuals rather than the other two, than opposed to the other two. This is for the fact that, quite frankly, I do want to see Mr. Mario and Uncle Luigi cooking their bread, because if you can see them, they're having a good time cooking that bread. And they are enjoying themselves, and they are really having a good time. For this image, we want to focus on the family-owned and operated businesses. We feel that people are more inclined to support a business that they can relate to, that they have somebody that they're giving back to rather than a franchise business. So, Alberta Avenue, did you know approximately 60% of the businesses on Alberta Avenue are family-owned and operated? Support Alberta Avenue, visit 118. For our fifth image, this is our fourth, we wanted to focus on the unique aspect of Alberta Avenue. Because there really is such a large variety of different possibilities for people to have on Alberta Avenue, there really is something for everybody. And for that reason, and being the fact that this is in September when the students are coming back to school, we want to showcase the belly dancing that happens on Alberta Avenue. So in this picture, I would actually like to point out before I continue that the movement, the blue is Rayna. She was front and center. And the lady in the pink, this is in essence a real woman. She has her stretch marks, she has a little bit of abs going on, but she still has her little belly from her babies. But most importantly to the image of our specific image is the fact that she has tattoos on her. We really want to focus on this because on Alberta Avenue, that's accepted. I mean, maybe on Jasper Avenue, if you saw a woman dressed up in her little blazer and her skirt and she's walking and she took it off and all of a sudden she had a sleeve, it might be kind of looked at sideways. But on Alberta Avenue, being who you are is embraced and widely accepted. For the fifth image, there we are. We are going to be focusing on the celebrations and the events and festivals that happen on Alberta Avenue. So this is actually the exact size that will be placed in the buses. And we chose this picture because it's life. It's them happening. It's showing the good that happens on the avenue. And people may not see this as something that does happen on Alberta Avenue because they have such a previous negative perception. So for that reason, we thought that this picture was perfect. And with this one, we have Alberta Avenue. Did you know over 50 different festivals and events are held every year on Alberta Avenue? Celebrate Alberta Avenue, visit 118. So as I stated, we just continued on reinforcing the message, continuing to hammer in that Alberta Avenue, positive image, nice facts to go along with it in each of our advertising campaign images.
So our second promotional tactic is going to be merchandise advertising. This is actually going to be in the shape of a reusable bag. So as you can see here, this is not the actual size that we're going to be purchasing, but pretty close to it. So this bag is going to include a fact sheet, a Taste of Alberta Avenue pamphlet, a business directory, and most importantly, well, they're all important, but there's going to be a Growth Alberta Avenue treasure hunt contest. This bag we decided to do because it's really going to offer a lot of frequency for people to see the new logo of Alberta Avenue. People are going to take this shopping, take it to the gym, take it wherever, and Edmontonians are going to inquire about this logo. If they already know what Alberta Avenue is, then they might say, wow, that's a cool logo associated with Alberta Avenue, I didn't know that. Or if they don't know what Alberta Avenue is, they might ask the person with the bag or look it up. So with that bag, we also thought it would be a nice idea to do a reusable bag because even though Alberta Avenue is one of the oldest residential neighborhoods, it's still keeping up with the trends. The environmentally friendly trend is really popular right now, and we thought that, let's show that Alberta Avenue is growing, it's prospering, it's moving in the right direction, it's keeping up with the generations. Let's do a reusable bag. So the third type of promotion we wanted to do was sales promotion, and that's going to be in the shape of this little treasure hunt contest here. So this is going to be the treasure hunt contest. We wanted to do, it's going to be passed out on an 8.5 by 11 white sheet of cardstock, two-sided, full color. We want to do this because it's really going to allow the participant to interact with it. They have to make it into a box, it's going to be fun, creative, and it's not going to be like any other piece of paper just sitting on a desk or something they throw out. So on the interior side of this, we'll use it over here, it's a little bit bigger. On the interior side of it, we decided to use animated images, pictures, landmarks, things that people can associate with. We also used factual information of 6 major businesses. These were Myers Music, the Weebrook Inn, the Carrot Community Coffee House, the Bissell Thrift Shop, Nina Haggerty Center for the Arts, and Lions Asian Grill. We chose these 6 businesses just because of their overwhelming support for this contest when we contacted them. So when the participant gets this in their bag, or we actually have these on the Alberta Avenue Business Association website, so if you don't get a bag, you can still play. They are going to have to essentially do a treasure hunt. You visit these little stores and you get a stamp from the business owner and you continue to play. On the outside, we wanted to again reinforce what you can do on Alberta Avenue. You can taste, experience, celebrate, and enjoy. There's so many different possibilities to do. And again, reinforce the Growth Alberta Avenue logo. In particular, we wanted to do the instructions in a really fun and creative way. So they go as follows. Visit the X's on the map to see what the avenue offers at that. When you visit each store, get the owner to stamp and and when you visit them all, assemble your box and have a ball. Drop it off at ABBA with your number and name, see that and they pick you as the winner of this game. Support the Ag and all its businesses. The prizes are grand and the experience is limitless. We wanted to do this in a fun, creative way, just saying that your support for Alberta Avenue doesn't have to be construction, doesn't have to cost a lot of money, doesn't have to include a permit from the city of Edmonton. It can just be, go visit 118th, go visit Alberta Avenue. We're going to appreciate your support.
So included in this information kit, there is a fact sheet which Mayor Marketing has created. We thought this would be a good idea to reinforce a positive image of Alberta Avenue. The Taste of Alberta brochure is being created by Alberta Avenue Business Association. It essentially showcases a couple of the restaurants located on Alberta Avenue. Alberta Avenue Business Association is currently working on the business directory. It has all of the contact information for the 190 businesses located on the avenue. We will distribute these information kits by volunteers. We will distribute them by 500 households located on or surrounding Alberta Avenue.
We also want to encourage media to showcase our contest, and by doing this, we will deliver a media kit which includes a fact sheet and a press release. We just want to encourage the great support of these 6 businesses which we included in our contest, and to showcase also the box is growing when recipients drop them off at the Alberta Avenue Business Association office. We wanted to showcase the trees facing outside so they can see it growing and how the number of people have participated in this contest. We also want to encourage medias for publicity to showcase the generous donations from these 6 businesses, which we included on our map. Donations from Myers Music has contributed a guitar, and Niga Haggerty has contributed a $200 painting. This is incredible. It just shows the amount of support and emphasizes their community pride, and they know the potential of what Alberta Avenue has.
So, now the fun stuff. We get to talk about the budget. So, for our interior bus cards, including production and purchasing the space from Pattison, it's going to run us just over $2,000, like I said, space production for those 5 cycles. For the residential information kit that's going to include the bag, the fact sheet, and the printing of the treasure hunt. That is going to run us just over $1,000. Again, please remember that the business directory and the brochures are already created, so we don't have to actually take the hit for those ones. For other miscellaneous costs, including the stamp that we will be providing to the businesses to stamp the contest when the residents are coming around, that's going to be about $120. So for our $3,500 campaign, we come just to above $3,100, which leaves us about $300 under budget. So through the implementation of the Grow with Alberta Avenue marketing campaign, Mayor, and most importantly the businesses on Alberta Avenue, believe this campaign does reflect the area's unique ethnic diversity, arts and culture, and community dynamics. And this will ultimately renew Alberta Avenue. So, Alberta Avenue, did you know there are hundreds of men and women who are committed to making Alberta Avenue a safer place? Enjoy Alberta Avenue, visit 118.
Did you know that Ethiopian is only one of 11 different types of ethnic cuisines offered on the avenue? Taste Alberta Avenue, visit 118.
Did you know that over 60% of the businesses on Alberta Avenue are family-owned and operated? Support Alberta Avenue, visit 118.
Did you know that Alberta Avenue has over 190 businesses, each offering something unique to the avenue? Experience Alberta Avenue, visit 118.
Did you know Alberta Avenue is home to over 50 different festivals and events every year? Celebrate Alberta Avenue, visit 118.
Grow with Alberta Avenue, visit 118. And just before we open the floor to any questions, we just wanted to leave behind a little tree. We just felt like it represented Alberta Avenue because it has the potential to grow, so please take care of them.